And we're going to get started immediately as MetaLow and megakyle get started on their first Robot Masters, which, as expected if you've been following the tournament, is Quickman. So Quickman is one of the foremost stages to start with in terms of going through a randomizer routing. It's either Quickman, Flashman, and depending on some circles, even Metalman, because these are stages where you can easily get E-tanks, because E-tanks are pretty important in this rando. Also, the fact that they are particularly short stages, and they also don't have much item usage. Of course, in Metal Man's regard, you're probably gonna see more seasoned players save him for later, so you can have access to potential skits with item 1 and item 2.
Exactly, and what the rando giveth, the rando also taketh. So these players, they don't know where they're going to get those items, and that may or may not prevent them from executing some of these zips, which can affect how long it takes them to get through these stages.
Of course, right now we got a little bit of sinkage between megakyle and MetaLow. Of course, we could have a little bit of change because we got a little bit of a time desync between these two. But right now, it's still looking very good for these two. Very clean runs between our two racers that they're about to go to Quickman's boss room to see what our first Robot Master is going to be.
MetaLow just probably now a little bit better in sync, getting hit by that monkey and taking that health pickup, looking at the timers. So, who's it gonna be?
Ooh, this is going to be a little interesting. Crashman is probably one of the rougher fights to have in this kind of boss room. Quickman's boss room is pretty much not a favor for any boss, but Crashman especially is not really fun.
But both players navigated it pretty efficiently, picking up Toad Snake and no items. So MetaLow is transitioning to Flash, as is megakyle right on his heels.
Of course, we don't know exactly what our racers actually got, as what they get in the randomizer for weapons is random from boss to boss. So we have no idea what they got until they go into the menu screen and see what's filled up.
Just took a fraction of a second to shoot Buster at that wall. Might have been a weakness, but that tink tells us that it is not.
Yes, the crash walls have a randomized weakness as well. They can be weak to any weapon that is not Flash. So it's always nice in this stage to at least check the first wall to see if it's Buster weak, so you don't have to worry about checking for weaknesses later on. In the meanwhile, MetaLow and megakyle yet again are pretty much going through their stages pretty quickly.
Yep, and so here's another opportunity to get a... Oh, and he sees the chain and doesn't even stay up top for that E-tank. So it will take a little bit of time to kill these chandeliers, but it looks like megakyle is going for it. But MetaLow's picking up a little bit of time by just dropping down to the bottom.
Yeah, that's usually MetaLow's MO as he's about to fight Quickman in Flash Room, which is another pretty nasty fight with a very high jump.
Interesting. I've not seen the pattern where the quick boomerangs just kind of come out and float off the screen.
So looks like we got a pretty resilient Quickman, as he's not susceptible to the Buster. So those that are wondering, yes, we are playing on easy mode. We play on easy mode as the MetaLow destroys Quickman for the sake of accessibility to the newcomers that are in this tournament. But we see that we also got item 3.
Nice.
MetaLow decided to go to Woodman stage now. He has item 3. MetaLow, being a seasoned Mega Man 2 runner himself, Vanilla is...
Buster immune fat fans.
That could be a problem going forward. That's some good information, but some rather dangerous foreshadowing if we see these guys in later stages. So
and it doesn't look like those tin cans were those tin cans were immune to the quick boomerang, so he had to deboost his way through them a little bit if he's staying on the same weapon. Otherwise, he'll have to keep menuing back and forth.
So we got megakyle here about to perform the bubble zip, the buster only version, where he's going to be doing a consecutive set of pauses to try to get himself on the ceiling of the preceding screen below. And if he does it right, he will turn around, and there we go, successful zip. But meanwhile, MetaLow is going to try to do good wood and wisely checks the screen above him to make sure there's no enemies that could potentially block his way, particularly our fan fiends.
Which, just those monkeys. But we'll see if he gets it executed.
We may or may not have some internet issues with MetaLow, had a little bit of a freeze there. But regardless, we got megakyle going to Bubble Room while MetaLow is successfully performing good wood at this point.
And I think that was just getting the game timer in sync, because now they are matched.
Oh, there we go. Airman in Bubble Man's room, and we got some Velcro air. Airman sticking to the ceilings.
Slowing down this fight a little bit.
Meanwhile, look like we got Metal Man in Wood Boss Room. Look like he's susceptible to the Buster, so he got a Buster soft weakness that deals 4 units of energy rather than 2. But both of our runners are doing quite well, and they're about to do a swap. megakyle doing Woodman stage while MetaLow's doing Bubble. So, little bit of passing the torch here.
And we'll see how megakyle handles these fan fiends and the tin cans coming up. But it didn't look like megakyle had any issues with the bubble stage, and so we'll see how MetaLow makes his way through.
Both these guys are seasoned randomizer runners. I really suspect they will have very little trouble unless this could be one of those dangerous seas where whatever can go wrong does.
We saw some of that yesterday, even though there were some of our newer rando runners. Those seeds were brutal.
MetaLow successfully getting the bubble zip as well. So we're gonna see megakyle goes for good wood. megakyle has been steadily improving. He's becoming one of our top runners, and for those that don't know, megakyle was actually the 3rd place finisher of last year's tournament. So he's not a racer to be reckoned around with, and he does indeed go for good wood. So I'm suspecting megakyle to successfully go through this and be pretty much stride for MetaLow.
And so yeah, now MetaLow's his turn to take on Underwater Fan, or Airman, I should say.
Where he about to get his taste of Velcro air. Airman in this room when he high jumps is very dangerous because you at risk of touching the spikes trying to hit him. So you got to manage your jump very carefully so you don't
as MetaLow just did. Ooh. Not gonna say that was, commentator induced, but we are synchronized now with our boss fights, so.
Now, all MetaLow did is just provide an example for us. It's not a commentator's curse, it's more of a commentator's example. Thank you, MetaLow, for being our guinea pig.
Figure 1 on the left-hand screen.
But yeah,
Pepto-Bismol on the right here in Airman stage.
No items here, so we're gonna have ourselves a very walkabout Airman stage right now. So at least right now, nothing seems to be holding the stage back, because the Airman stage can be very dangerous. In fact, it has been completely altered, at least the first part of the stage, because of how dangerous and how glitchy it can be.
But yeah, lots of chandeliers and flyboys, but nothing spamming too much like you'll see with chickens or blowing off platforms with fat fans.
Yeah, the first half of the stage has been relatively tame. High damage, well, high health crushers aside, well, you wanted chickens.
Oh. Again, megakyle now is providing an example of a spammy enemy to encounter.
Well, at least these chickens, also known as cooks, are single shot, but that still doesn't mean anything. What were you saying?
Yeah, we said nothing. We said absolutely nothing. At this point, I would like to point out that LV Creed and I absolve ourselves for any responsibility of any unfortunate event suffered by our players as they transgress these stages.
Nah, I don't dodge blame. If it's my fault, it's my fault. But I don't feel any regret for it.
Oh, okay, all right, that's the difference.
Anyway, we find Bubble Man in Airman's room. Look like we got ourselves a chaser. We got Huggles. This particular Bubble Man has been inspired by another ROM hack. They use Ex Machina, where we got ourselves a similar AI scheme from that game, as megakyle kind of struggles to try to get away from him.
And doing a little bit of item shopping, see if anything's a little more effective, but megakyle taking a quick death.
MetaLow just having enough energy, beating the DPS race on Bubble Man, and as a result takes the lead from megakyle as he decides to go to Heatman stage.
We'll see what happens here in the sewers.
MetaLow taking a little bit of a gamble here. Heatman is one of those stages that you would normally wait for to have extra items. He has item 3, but you would like to have item 2, at least to skip Yoku blocks. With MetaLow going this stage early, he's going to have to do the Yoku blocks legit, while megakyle decides to go a little bit of a more conventional route and goes to Metal Man.
I appreciate these nice blue hues in the Metal Man stage.
Got a question in chat, which actually is something that does need to be noted. We got a question asking about MetaLow's position in the 2018 race, and he was runner-up. He was the second place finisher in the 2018 tournament, where he lost to Prodigy in a very tight match, 3-2.
MetaLow was able to get that quick little heat zip with item 3, no problem. Just a couple shotmen down at the base of the floor there, which didn't pose a threat as he moved across.
megakyle dealing with blockies as they're literally blocking his way, trying to go through Metal Man as fast as possible, while MetaLow is really having zero issues in Heatman stage. Heatman, another one of those potentially dangerous stages, being rather tame this seed.
megakyle coming across some of those Metroids. I saw him shoot at them, but I don't know if they were vulnerable to Buster or not. But wait a second, is this Heatman and Heatman stage?
Well, yes it is.
We are obligated now to say, is this even randomized?
Well, on megakyle, this is a nasty Woodman that we could have dealt with, but fortunately he was also busted weak. That is a very dangerous Woodman to deal with. It was fortunate that it was so weak. And not only that, megakyle gets item 2 from Metal Man stage, so megakyle's routing actually benefited him, as he immediately goes to Heatman stage, where he will make use of that item 2 and save a little bit of time over MetaLow, who did the Yoku blocks legit.
Yeah, and that might give him an opportunity to catch up on a little bit of time he took from taking that death.
Yes, indeed. So right now we're about to see MetaLow about to go through Metal Man stage. Actually, just noting, we got our runners switching. Oh boy.
Yikes. Oh, megakyle getting hit by one of those crabs, not able to pause, buffer, recover back onto that block.
I was about to say we had ourselves another flip-flop of in boss stages after they were dealing with Metal Man stage. I mean, Airman stage.
These crabs are posing a little bit of a problem for megakyle.
That's the danger with pretty much permanently and infinitely spawning enemies. Right now, megakyle just tanking every single crab hit.
Thanks. And MetaLow's already at the boss door of Metal Man. So he's also going to face off against this particularly nasty Woodman.
So for those to know, the thing about Woodman's AI is that whenever the falling leaves get removed from the screen, once he lands from a jump, that is the time he immediately respawns his shield. So having a reverse falling leaves is very dangerous because it actually spawns his shield much faster than it would if his leaves were falling slowly.
Correct. megakyle, now making use of that item 2. He was able to use item 3 to zip across the first segment and item 2 right across those Yoku block sections, so he can hopefully make up a little bit of time. Whereas MetaLow is in Chartreuse Man stage. This is a very, very high visibility background.
And actually, we got some bad news for both our runners, because now that we know, we've pretty much gone through all the robot masters and we have not found item 1 yet. Item 1 is locked in this stage.
MetaLow trying, or oh no, not frogs.
Yep, the lag
amphibians are the worst.
And you could tell that these were going to be the enemies for the moving platform sections, because in the first screen of Crashman stage, the enemies that you see in that first screen are more than likely going to be the enemies you see right here. So if we see frogs in this screen, like megakyle is about to discover, you're going to see them right where MetaLow is right now. And these are some of the worst enemies to deal with because it slows the game down.
Yeah, these lagphibians, and without the use of item 1, our players have to use modified strats, possibly jumping off the item 2 if you can place it in order to make it to the ladder. MetaLow just getting onto that lower rung there.
Gonna see megakyle decide to use item 3. Yes, he does. He does use item 3, which is a strat that Daggett came up with to try to skip through at least one screen of the moving platform sections.
Having some issues here with MetaLow on his stream. We'll see if we can get that. He is coming to us from across the ocean, so
well, we know
can
that
get
MetaLow
that corrected.
Go on, XR.
Oh no, I was just saying. Hopefully, we can get this technical issue ironed out and our racers back up.
Yeah, but we know that right now MetaLow is still continuing his race, so hopefully we'll have something from MetaLow as soon as possible. Meanwhile, focusing back on megakyle for a little bit, he's now getting through this lagphibian section, is on his way to the midpoint. From what I was getting from MetaLow's PowerPoint presentation, it looked like he had a little bit of trouble trying to jump on and off the item 2, had a little bit of a fall.
But this next slide showing us he's making his way up. megakyle right on his heels.
Got to be careful with his health situation. You might need to pop in an E-Ting very soon, as these guys are about to perform the crash climb.
And so, as Daggett likes to point out, climbing is the slowest movement mechanic in the game. So if we're able to use, or if they're able to use item 3 here to, nice little horizontal zip there to get back on the correct ladder.
So it looks like Flashman was our final robot master, and I'm assuming MetaLow expertly killed him from what I'm seeing as we see Wily's castle in the distance, a whole frame and a half per screen, maybe, kinda, sorta.
Possibly. But now that we're in Wily 1, it is time for chat. I need you to participate. We like to guess the color and the weakness of the upcoming Mecha Dragon. So I want you to be as descriptive as possible. Get out your Bob Ross color palette. Pull out a Crayola, box of Crayolas. Guess
Just
what
guess the color, people.
Guess the color. Hey! This is my moment to shine. This is my one moment to shine. Yeah, just guess the color and the weakness. What do you think, Creed?
And let's just keep it simple. Let's do a blue dragon vanilla weakness to quick.
I am thinking a red dragon, silver highlights, with a weakness to crash. Oh, MetaLow, looks like we have him back. Oh, almost, maybe. But he's making his way across the blocks. And he's going to be first. We're going to find out in just a few frames here. That is Bubblegum Dragon.
That is a very, very pink dragon.
That is that's Barbie Dragon.
Kinda, sorta. It's pink enough. Well, it was a quick boomerang, but it's definitely air shooter.
Metal expertly navigating those blocks back and forth, takes care of the Mecha Dragon. He's on his way to Wily 2.
megakyle trying to do a vertical zip, but the item 1 is just not quite good enough to make that attempt successful. So megakyle wastes a little bit of time trying to go for that failed zip.
And none of our players were able to check out the integrity of item 1 until they just picked it up at the end of Crashman. So item 1 is an item that is randomized as far as its properties, so how long it lasts on screen and whether or not it moves. Oh.
We found a weakness, but we don't necessarily know what it was.
Don't be a surprise.
Frame. I almost want to say that looked like it was heat from the menu position, but I really can't confirm.
I wonder if megakyle is going to take an E-Tank or if he's just going to see what goes on with the dragon. Because he's looking pretty low going into this fight.
He shouldn't have issues, but carelessness can be a thing.
And MetaLow's coming across Pico. We're gonna see what its weakness is. Oh, and it's Buster.
So we gotta say it's an easy Pico fight. So there should be very little for MetaLow to worry about as megakyle begins his assault on Wily 2, following on MetaLow's footsteps. Taking a bit to refill that item 1 before he makes that item 2 trek.
MetaLow having no problems with Pico there. And he's on to Wily 3.
We're gonna see if megakyle decides to shoot for weakness for the walls or decide to wait until Wily 4 to check for weaknesses.
And so shout out to Charlie Boy keeping us on track with the tracker there, and he just switched the audio over to MetaLow since he is one stage ahead.
megakyle having a little bit of issue digging for weakness. It is, oh boy, this is gonna be a rough one for our guys. Bubble is the wall weakness, and Bubble with his wonky hitbox in interaction with walls, it's gonna be a very annoying weakness to try to deal with when you fight Boo Beam that's coming up shortly.
Yeah. So MetaLow's kind of deboosting his way in to the Boo Beam fight. Hopefully we don't switch back to PowerPoint here. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Boo Beam. This is the Guts tank, and it is a very pink dozer.
That is not Buster Week, so we're digging for weaknesses. So for those,
it's fishing time.
Sorry about that. Excuse me, right quick. As we find that Crash is the weakness for the Guts tank. Each and every weakness for the Wily bosses have a chance to be Buster, but it's only 50-50 for each boss. If it's not Buster, then they're gonna have to dig for specific weaknesses for each Wily boss.
And Firebird Lover in chat asked, is the music randomized? Because that sounded like Bionic Commando. Yes, the music is randomized. You will hear music not just from Mega Man 2, but from all across the spectra of Mega Man games, as well as a couple of other games. You'll hear some Final Fantasy thrown in as well, I know.
Well, to be a little bit more specific about the music randomization, the music that is chosen for the randomizer comes from an assortment of Mega Man 2 ROM hacks that in and of itself uses a customized soundtrack. As far as official soundtracks, the only music that fits are games that only fits with the sound font that equivalent to Mega Man 2. So that means games like Mega Man 1, Legendary Wings, and Bionic Commando, aside from vanilla Mega Man 2, of course, those are the only official soundtracks that are available in this randomizer.
Thank you, sir, for that very detailed explanation. MetaLow is going through the anxiety rooms. It looked like they were the these little dudes. Nice use of item 2, just zipping across and making that platform.
MetaLow making short work of Wally 4, trying to do the final corridor zip on his way to Boo Beam.
But those Metroids have other plans for him.
Yeah, not a good enemy to try to do a zip against.
Megakyle's turn to fish for a weakness on the Guts tank.
Also finding Crash Bombs to be suitable enough to use. So now, for Boo Beam, we know that Bubble is the weakness for the walls. But due to that correlation, it will never be the weakness for the Boo Beam. The Boo Beam and the walls will never share the same weakness. So MetaLow's gonna have to find a different weakness from Bubble in order to beat Boo Beam. And MetaLow's showing the awkwardness of Bubble within the walls.
Taking a quick E-Tank, refill his health. It is not Buster. Oh, it is Metal.
This is a god weakness. If you find a weakness like Leaf Shield, Metal Blades, and occasionally Air Shooter, you can potentially beat Boo Beam without having to destroy a single wall. So in finding Metal Blades, MetaLow could have saved a little bit more time, but he opted to destroy a few walls.
So MetaLow now making his way into the refights, dealing with the spammy Crash Man here. Picking up the health. After that, during the refights, oh, Megakyle, taking a death there, unfortunately, to the spikes. So he's going to have to eat that time loss a little bit.
Megakyle was trying to utilize the item 2 to fly across the area, but just put it a little bit too high and wasn't able to land on it properly and was completely unable to recover. I'm pretty sure he was trying to pause as soon as the item 2 was out of the screen, but the iframe just ended probably right before he was able to pause.
Gonna give it another shot here. Oh, that almost no item 2 available, so he's switching to using item 1 to make his way over. And it's gonna be a nice pause buffering.
So megakyle might need to consider either getting a little bit of weapon energy for at least his item 1s, but if he's able to find metal blades quick enough, he might not have to. So we're hoping that not MetaLow, but megakyle finds the weakness very quickly, so his item usage will be at least limited in a good way.
Correct. So we might see him, well, taking down a couple of the barriers, but I think he's gonna possibly search right now. Oh, and he finds it first try. Nice. So exactly what you were saying, Creed. He's able to take out these boo beams without the time waste that MetaLow put into taking down those barriers.
But looked like it was a very costly metal blade, 1 blade per meter use. So it was able to defeat the boo beam turrets within 2 shots, but it's at the cost of quite a bit of metal blade because of the randomized weapon meter use.
Oh, MetaLow is making his way to the Wily machine now as megakyle's just getting started with his refights. And it's Buster Week.
As one probably should suspect. Of course, if the machine is weak to Buster at any given moment, it's weak on both phases. Otherwise, if it's immune, you're gonna have to do some weakness searching with weapon weaknesses actually being changed in between phases.
megakyle eating E-Tank here as he deals with Metal Man.
So we got MetaLow going to what we like to call Victory Road here on his way to the alien fight. Trying to use that last item 1 to try to zip the rest of Wily 6.
Doesn't quite nab it, so he's going OG route.
megakyle taking a nasty death on Quickman here.
Yikes. Unfortunately, that's going to put him a little further behind as it's now MetaLow's turn he's going to do some digging, find out what the alien is weak to.
Well, we might know if we actually get a good picture.
If we can luck out and get the frame.
But look like it's not first page, because I think I saw him try to use Crash, so I think he tried to use the second page Gamble.
Yeah, it's quick.
Boomerang.
Oh,
well,
but he takes a death. Oh no.
Well, at least he knows the weakness now. But
True.
at least MetaLow can afford the death, as megakyle is still trying to survive in the refights.
No bother with zipping here, making his way across. As megakyle is in his, he's got three refights to go.
So MetaLow gonna take his second chance on the alien. Should have very little problems this time now that he knows the weakness.
And it looks like the quick boomerang, depending on its arc and trajectory, is one of the better weaknesses for the alien to have. Let's get some GGs in chat for MetaLow, finishing with an official SRL time of 33:22.
As megakyle takes another death to Heat Man.
Yikes. Oh.
So right now it's official that MetaLow is now up 1-0 in our best of 3 match against megakyle. This was kind of an interesting seed. Our racers are actually much faster than the time suggests, so seeing MetaLow with a 33 pretty much suggests that this was kind of a questionable seed for these guys.
As in questionable difficulty, or
maybe I'll probably say mostly around bosses, because we got some very treacherous bosses. We had a few boss deaths in this seed.
But megakyle's turn now to take down the Wily machine, which we know is Buster Week.
First phase down, second phase should be going down just as fast.
And there it is. While megakyle's catching up here in Wily 6, I just want to give a quick shout out to SpeedGaming for putting in a lot of work behind the scenes to help make these streams possible. Getting everything technical ironed out and letting us be able to show off our tournament to all of you on Twitch. We really do appreciate it. And thanks for Charlie in the background making this tracker works very flawlessly, keeping up with those items.
megakyle is about to fight the alien now. Of course, we know that it's Quick Boomerang. The question is how soon megakyle is going to figure that out. Naturally, always check Buster first, and now very quick find. And GG's to megakyle, finishing the alien and coming in second place with official SRL time of 36 minutes and 1 second. GG for these guys.
Some GG's in chat, por favor. Or I should say, s'il vous plaît, as MetaLow is joining us from France.
About to get our second seed up and running. So in the meanwhile, as Charlie Boy has so graciously decided to post the runners in chat, please follow them. They are taking time off their schedule to entertain you, the masses, with a good randomizer race. As we continue to set up.
Yeah, also take some time out there wherever you are, get a drink of water, stretch your legs a little bit. We want to keep you healthy too. As you're watching our racers get set up, we'll have race 2 of possibly 3 coming right up for you.
So while we're waiting for our races to come up, what was your opinion about this race? What did you observe from how our two players went through this first seed?
I think that MetaLow and megakyle were. You can tell that there's a level of experience between the two, that they could navigate and use those backup strats in the first half, fighting those robot masters. And it was just a little unfortunate with the item placement, but I think they were both very consistent and they both gave us a very close race. It was once we got to some of the wily bosses, I think megakyle suffered just a little bit with some of the, well, we saw with the refights and with some of the boss fights too, which just ate away his time a little bit and wasn't able to catch back up.
It's going to be one of those times where experience possibly can matter in this regard for our race between MetaLow and megakyle. As I said earlier, MetaLow is actually a pretty experienced Mega Man 2 runner. He runs this game quite a bit, has a decent 80% time. So knowing the general ins and outs of Mega Man at a pretty high level can definitely translate into a randomizer. But I also know by experience as well that if a seed gets bad, MetaLow does have a tendency to choke. So what we're looking for, at least in race 2, and potentially race 3, if things go megakyle's way, we're gonna see how tough the seed is. If a seed gets just tough enough that MetaLow gets flustered, I expect MetaLow to struggle a little bit while megakyle, with his ability that can actually go toe-to-toe with MetaLow, he can actually sneak in a victory. So we can have a potential for a race 3. I'm not saying we will, but I am hoping for a race 3.
Gives us that extra edge of really excitement it comes down to the line, it's going to be one of the two. And I mean, we're going to know it's going to be one of the two now, but just the possibility of pushing it all the way, push that envelope all the way to the edge. And we're going to see what this seed has in store with the randomizer. Definitely exciting and a good match to be watching, and glad to be able to commentate. And thank you so much, LB Creed, for joining us as a runner yourself and with a ton of experience and knowledge in these randos.
Well, that's what I'm here for, at least to help out. That's what I like to do. I like to volunteer, do these little things if I'm actually able to. And I mean, you're doing quite a bit of work yourself, being one of the newer community members.
I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and what I have found with the Mega Man and the Mega Man 2 community and the Rando community, it's very warm, it's very welcoming, it's a lot of fun. It's really good for new players. And if you guys in chat are interested, give the Discord a check. Feel free to have some fun. I think it's every Sunday that there's a community rando race.
Yeah, there's a community rando race every Sunday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So if you just want to just come in and hang out and just race for fun, it's all available for you to do so. And it looks like our racers are ready. I'm about to release the floodgates right now. There we go. Our runners are about to be set loose upon the world, about to wreak some havoc in the randomizer, and within a few seconds, and of course with stream catching up, we should have match 2 of our best of 3 within this Group D high-level Mega Man 2 randomizer match.
Absolutely. Good luck to both of our players. Let's get some hype in the chat for them, please, as we get started. Again, like LV Creed said earlier, the randomizers played on easy mode because you've seen how difficult it is already with how the rando shakes things up. So normal is just